Namaste, all of you. Welcome to my page today. I'm going to start this off by just reading something really quickly because what I'm going to be talking about today is the ego mind, and the spiritual self, okay? Are we mastering our ego, or is our ego mastering us? This has been really coming up a lot with my clients, friends, and everything, even myself, because ego is not always a bad thing, but when we allow it to master us, then it does get in the way of our perception and the way we view things. So I'm going to get into this just a little bit, but I want to read this really quick. My ego is your thinking mind versus yourself, which is what feels. So my ego mind thinks the world is against me. They are against me. You are against me. And even I'm against me. That's your ego mind. Yourself says, I am one. I am one with all people. I am one with you. I am one with the whole universe. My ego mind thinks no. Myself feels. My ego mind says no, but myself feels and says yes. My ego mind thinks I am not enough. Myself feels I am all there is. I am love. My ego mind thinks it's all your fault. Myself feels the other person is merely a reflection of my own consciousness. My own consciousness. Okay, so my ego mind thinks you push my buttons, so I'll avoid you. Myself feels, thank you, ego, for you are a doorway to what I need to heal. I love that. My ego mind thinks I need to find my true love. Myself feels I find love when I look within. Okay, so my ego mind thinks I'm all alone and separate. Myself feels we are all one. Okay, my ego mind thinks everything is good or bad, right or wrong. And myself feels everything is perfect just the way it is, even when it doesn't feel good. My ego mind thinks, poor me, I am a victim. Myself feels I create my own reality to learn and grow. My ego mind says, think. Myself wants me to feel. All right, my ego mind thinks I need to know right now, and myself feels surrendered to what is with the emotional detachment of the outcome. My ego mind thinks I'll never have enough, and myself feels by creating a heaven within my own consciousness, I'll be able to see through the veil of illusion created by the earth plane. Thus, I'll be able to recognize the heaven that is within me. Okay, so I love that because what this says here is it gives you the difference between how your ego thinks and how your spiritual self feels. I like to use the analogy here of when you're going to get your eyes checked and you're at the eye doctor and he brings those lenses and says, okay, 1 or 2. 1 meaning mind, 2 meaning self, spiritual self. As we grow, as we develop in our life, just from a little child, we're building those lenses. And what those lenses are doing is they're clouding our actual true higher consciousness on what we're viewing. So a lot of the experiences we're going through is on the how we view it is on our own lens, okay? We view things according to the lens that we have built in front of us, which is called ego. Ego isn't always a bad thing. Ego is there to help protect us, make us feel secure, give us the rhyme or reason as to why things are happening in our lives, because without our ego, we're saying that everything's okay, like everything is supposed to happen because it's just supposed to happen. That is actually true. Everything happens for us because it's supposed to happen for our growth and for our development in this world. So as we grow, and again, think of putting those lenses in front of your face, that is how your ego is being constructed through your experiences from childhood, things that you see on TV, things that you read, things that people are teaching you from their own ego, from their own perception on life. Okay, so this is where judgment comes in. This is where hatred comes in. This is where fear and anxiety and all those lower vibrational words are coming in because we are feeling the vibration based upon other people's perception. That's if we're not in tune with our own spiritual self, our own spirituality, and we are pulling those lenses back up, okay? So a lot of the reasons why people go through an awakening, go through any kind of spiritual shake-up, wake-up, is because we have been viewing this world with too many lenses. And these lenses are not always created by ourselves. They're, again, created to other things that happen around us, and we just happen to grab onto those things that distort our view, okay? It's distortion. And as you continue your awakening process or your spiritual process or learning more about the self, because this journey is about mastering the self. So as you go back to the self, you're going to realize that some of those views, some of those lenses that you put up, while they may have served you at the time to protect you, to help you feel secure, are not necessary for you to carry with you your entire life. That is living in the past, viewing things from that perception from the past. And as we grow, we have to let those things go, because while it may have been painful, it may have created trauma, it may have really rocked us, that is not supposed to be long-term experiences. That is meant to help us grow and learn on how to evolve for the future. So when I was awoken, when I had my spiritual awakening, I like to say, God just grabbed me by the scruff here and just lifted me and went, hey, wake up, because you are viewing things in such a distorted way that it's creating harm to you. It's creating anxiety. You're depressed. You're picking up all these emotions that feel bad because it's not in alignment with your true self. It's not truly who you are, and it's not truly how you should be viewing the world. And because you, me, have been viewing the world through my own distorted lenses, I had been creating trauma within myself, living in fear. Okay, the acronym for fear is false evidence appearing real. Okay, so all these things I thought were real. They were happening to me. Everything was happening to me. Victim mode, playing the victim. While my experiences were very, very true to me and the emotions and feelings behind it were very real to me, they were not put there to make me live them over and over and over again. They were put in place by me so that I could learn to overcome them and view them from a different perception, okay, a different perspective. A few months ago, I had tea with a shaman healer. And as I was listening to this person speaking, I started to realize as I was listening, I've always thought a certain way. I've always known the difference between my mind and my spirit. But I always lived in the mind. I allowed my ego to master me versus mastering my ego. So at the very end of our talk, he says to me, so do you want to know what I picked up on you? Do you want to know what I see with you? And of course, we all want to know how other people view us or see us. But this shaman healer, intuitive psychic, I wanted to see what he had to say about me. So he said to me, you view the world without the rose-colored glasses. And he says, some people come into this world and their lenses are so thick and they're so rosy and they can't see through them. He says, you view the world as though those glasses have been taken off, very open, very clear. And when he said that, I had already been through 2 years of really working on the self, really mastering the self. So for me, that wasn't just a compliment, that was kind of a validation that I have been doing the work and I have been detaching from my ego mind and more, into my spiritual body. So I had to pull apart everything I had built. I had to slowly pull the lenses up to try to see with a clearer vision, okay, using my actual spiritual body to help guide me versus my mind. So, you guys, ego helps us with uniqueness, okay? When we talk about ego, it helps us set apart from other people in the world. How we view things, how we perceive things. And again, not always a bad thing, but whenever we are so stuck on right and wrong, okay, true or false, yes or no, and we don't choose to see the gray in our lives. We live more through distortion. We live more through our ego mind, thinking that things have to be a certain way and look a certain way to be acceptable. Okay, so this is where anxiety comes in, depression comes in, all these different lower vibrational feelings. I'm going to stop this. I'm going to go to a second video here.